Good morning to all. Hope you all are safe and healthy. Today, I, Dr. Pooja Jain, on behalf of Global Foundation for Skill Development and Entrepreneurship and Nirvana University, welcome all the dignitaries and participants to the online national webinar. We are going to have an engrossed learning session with our keynote speaker on topic honing employability skills as per industry expectation. We are grateful for the gracious presence of Dr. S.K. Gupta, sir. He's Managing Director, ICMAI, Registered Valuer of Organization. He is eminent personality having in-depth knowledge of professional and personal front. Commands high respect and affection with all levels. Before we commence with today's program, I would like to present a brief description of Nirvana University, Jaipur. Our university has been endorsed as one of the most promising university of Northern India. The university is well known for its excellence in overall development-based education of students. To facilitate skill building, entrepreneurship development, creation of leading professional with the focus of employability. Our university keep on taking such initiatives for the continuous development of both students and faculties. Now, I would like to take the opportunity to present a brief profile of our keynote speaker, Dr. S.K. Gupta, sir. Dr. S.K. Gupta, sir, is postgraduate in commerce. He is gold medalist. He has done FCS, FCMA, and he is PhD. With over 40 years of corporate experience in leadership position with various public and private sector organizations in the domains of finance, costing, internal audit, legal, company secretarial functions. He has dealt with the mergers and acquisition, corporate restructuring, anti-dumping duty, and corporate governance mechanism. Currently, Dr. Gupta sir is Managing Director of Registered Valuer Organization of Institute of Cost Accountants of India. Dr. Gupta sir has steered and addressed a large number of national and international seminars. He has written over 200 articles and research which are regularly published in various professional, national and international journal conferences. He has been visiting faculty at various leading business schools for over 3 decades. Dr. Gupta is also music lover. He plays flute. He has released an album of songs and bhajans played by him on flute. Sir, please enlighten us. Over to you, sir. Sir, unmute yourself.
Thank you so much for your very gracious welcome and introduction. And I'm really thankful to Nirvana University and especially Dr. Pooja Jain, who have been in touch with them and inviting me for this session on honing employability skills as per industry expectation for the students. Just give me a second. Let me share my presentation on the screen, please.
Right, sir.
Okay, so you would all tend to agree with me that the world is changing and it is changing significantly at a very, very rapid pace. I'm not only talking about the last 2 years, wherein the world as a whole, rather humanity as a whole, has been impacted severely by the COVID-19 pandemic situation. But even otherwise, if you look back 2 or 3 decades, the world has seen dramatic changes and it has changed the way we live our life and the way we work in different organizations. Just a minute, please. I'll just take a call, important official call. Hello, Bhaiya, 3 baje aate. Okay. So the world has changed dramatically over the period of last 2 or 3 decades in terms of the way we live our life and the way we work in different organizations. It's a VUCA world The world that we live in today is highly vulnerable, very uncertain, hugely complex, and very, very ambiguous. And it is this dynamism in the business and economic environment which poses a hell of a lot of challenges for the businesses to be able to stay afloat and also grow on a sustainable basis. You have lots of startups mushrooming all over the place in the world, including that in India. And we take pride in saying and mentioning that India today is number 2, only behind Silicon Valley of the US, in terms of number of startups which are happening in India. And we also have over 75 unicorns. A unicorn is a startup which has valuation of over 1 billion US dollars. Going by the current exchange rate of 75 rupees for 1 US dollar, that works out to something like 7,500 crores valuation. That's the company we say is a unicorn. We have over 75 unicorns, and many of the companies are very near to this threshold. And that's why we tell and say these are soonicorns. Very soon they are going to become unicorns, and there are over 50 companies hovering in that particular range. But I think there's a lot of difference in terms of the mindset of the people in Silicon Valley, in India, so far as the startup culture is concerned. In Silicon Valley, if someone has failed in one startup because of the VUCA business situation, you can't really be sure whether your startup, your idea is actually going to become a hit in the market or not. So because of market dynamics, someone might fail in one startup, someone might fail in 2 startups, and if that happens, he's taken as a great guy in Silicon Valley. People say he may not have been successful in sustaining a startup, that's okay, but having failed in 2 startups, he would have accumulated a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge, and he's a great guy. But in India, if someone fails in one startup, and if he fails, unfortunately, in another startup, and he wants to get back to the employment in the company, he finds it very, very difficult to get back because people consider failure in business as kind of a stigma and you're good for nothing. Nonetheless, we have a significant structure, architecture in the economy today by way of various government policies, various kinds of incentives by which a lot of startups are happening in the Indian space, and that's good for the country going forward. Many of these startups and the new age companies have very, very disruptive business models. Very, very disruptive business models. We live in a world where the world's largest travel car company does not own a single car of their own. Uber, look at the business model. The world's largest travel car company, but they don't have even a single car as an asset sitting in their balance sheet. We live in a world where the world's largest travel lodging company does not own a single hotel room of their own. That's Airbnb. And the world's largest retailer, Amazon, does not have a single brick and mortar store. These are amazingly disruptive business models, which were kind of unheard of till about a decade back, but these are the realities of the business world today. But when you look at the financial position of many of these companies, we find that many of these businesses have profitless turnover. They have a good enough top line, they have a good enough level of turnover, but end of the day, there is no profit. Or many of these companies have cashless profit. They have a very strong, robust, good enough bottom line, but end of the day, there's no cash, there's no liquidity. Profitless turnover, cashless profit, but when you look at valuation of these companies, wow, skyrocketing, going very, very high. The point that I'm making here, that in today's business world, profit alone is not the measure of corporate performance. You got to look at triple bottom line, you got to look at triple P, that is profit, people, planet. And to this now probably the fourth P got added, that's pandemic. So it's not only economic performance of the company measured by profit, which is valuable today for the companies. You also got to consider what impact is the company having on the society, whether it is positive or negative. What impact is the company having on the environment, whether it is positive, negative. And then, of course, how effectively has the company been able to deal with COVID-19 pandemic situation? Many of the businesses have been closed during the period of an impact of COVID-19, but many of the businesses have also flourished. There are sectors which have been positively benefited by COVID-19, and there are sectors which have been negatively impacted. In the sectors which have been negatively impacted, many companies have had to close down, pull down their shutters, but many companies have been able to survive. And they were able to survive because these companies had what is commonly known as resilient business models. Resilient business models. They were able to adapt, adopt, change their functioning, change their working, and thus they were able to keep their heads floating above the water, and they were able to sustain even in devastating COVID-19 pandemic situation. A case in point is that of Zomato. Zomato came out with a public issue a few months back. And when you look at financial position of the company has a current year turnover of 2,600 crores, a current year loss of 2,300 crores, accumulated loss of 4,300 crores. And in spite of such bleeding financials, the IPO of the company was oversubscribed 38 times. 38 times for the oversubscription of their initial public offering, IPO. And the company was able to place their shares in the marketplace at a price of 75, which is currently hovering in the stock market in the range of 135, 140, 145. The point that I'm making is, before we actually start talking about what are the skills which are required from the fresh graduates, from fresh young professionals getting into the corporate space, we must first understand what is the business environment today? What are the underlying features? What is the architecture of business that you will confront when you walk out of your classroom and when you get into real life corporate function? What is the kind of environment that you are likely to come across and confront? So I'm trying to build a perspective as to what is the current business and economic scenario in which you will be required to be working as an efficient employee. So there are changing that paradigms of performance, disruptive business models we talked about. Technology has hugely transformed the way we live and work in this organization. With the advent of internet in India in 92, 93, and with a whole lot of other technologies, machine learning, artificial intelligence, big data, data analytics, blockchain, I think the world is no more the same. And with social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, it has become even more a connected world. All the parts of the world, all the people on this planet, they are so intimately connected today that it's virtually become kind of a global village that we look in, and that's thanks to technology. But technology is having a huge impact in the corporate functioning as well. Most of the functions of most of the companies today are driven by technology. So we'll come to that little later, that you as the fresh young professionals seeking to get into the corporate space within a short period of time, you obviously may not be masters of these technologies, but at least must have a user understanding, should at least be able to use these tools and techniques which are provided by information technology for the betterment, upliftment, and the effective functioning of the companies wherein you'll be working. Demographic shifts have reshaped society and the workforce. India has second largest population in the world behind China. But we are better placed as compared to China for the simple reason that majority of the population of China is aging population. Whereas majority of the population of India has younger generation, younger people, younger age groups. And that's what we say is the demographic advantage enjoyed by India. We say population is the main problem for the country because we got to feed so many different people, 136 crores. But please remember, a person, someone who is born in this world, has just one mouth which you got to feed, but he or she has two hands to work. He can definitely contribute to generation of economy and generation of wealth and finances. He or she has one mouth which is required to be fed, but he or she has two hands which can actually contribute very, very productively to the economic development of the country. And what matters is the very theme of the topic that we are discussing today. We must prepare our future generations and imbibe in them employable skills. Carrying only a degree in your hand is not going to be enough any longer in the corporate world. What is required is you must possess the right kind of skills. What are those skills? We'll definitely come a little later onto those aspects. Globalization has changed the rules across all markets. India started off on the process of globalization by the Big Bang reforms, which happened in India in 1991 by way of LPG, liberalization, privatization, globalization. And today, India is well connected with the rest of the world and we enjoy the ease of doing business ranking 63 out of 195 countries. Very soon, we shall probably be getting under 50. But right now, we have a status position of 63rd rank in the ease of doing business in a committee of the nations in the world, which comprises of about 195 countries. Globalization has entirely changed the rules of the world. Any company you walk in, any company you're going to work for in future is going to be definitely connected with some other part of the world, either for sourcing of raw material or for your marketing or for your manufacturing. There are many companies which have set up manufacturing bases in other countries of the world. There are many Indian companies which have gone in abroad. And similarly, we have many foreign companies who have set up operational bases in India. That's because India offers a big market, huge market, 136 crores as of now, growing day by day. It's a huge market for any company. And that's why many of the foreign companies, they're flocking, getting into India. They want to get benefit of at least a small pie of the big market that India has to offer to most of the countries of the world. Customer expectations have changed dramatically. Today, customers want everything faster, everything today, not even yesterday. Everything yesterday, everything today. And they want better products. They want differentiated products and they want personalized service. The concept of customer satisfaction is giving way to the concept of customer delight. Customer satisfaction happens when the company is able to provide goods and services as per the expectation of the customer. But today's customers, they want to be delighted. And how do you delight a customer? That's when you are able to offer to a customer a product or a service which is even beyond the expectation of the customer. To give you a small real life example, in Deepavali, which happened about 3 months back in India, I went to a jewelry shop, silver jewelry shop, because I wanted to pick up a gift for giving it to someone on the occasion of Deepavali. I selected an item, I paid for that, and the shopkeeper gift wrapped that particular item, gave it to me, handed it over to me, and said, "Thank you." I also said, "Thank you," and started walking out of his shop. I must have just reached the door of his shop. He called me from back and he said, "Sir, just a minute." I said, "Baba, what happened?" "I have taken what I wanted to take. I have paid for what you asked me for that. You have given the product to me. What is that you want me now?" When I turned back, what I saw was he was carrying a small gift wrapped box in his hand and he gave it to me and he said, "Sir, happy Deepavali." As soon as I got back to my car, there was huge curiosity. "Baba, usne kya de diya? What has he given it to me?" I opened it very, very immediately, very, very fast. What I found was there was nothing, just a small bowl of glass, maybe just costing about 125, 150 rupees. But the way it was given, I think he has won a lifelong customer. That's what is customer delight. I never bargained for that. I never bargained for anything more than what I had decided to pick up. But that's where the customers are today becoming more expectant. They are showing requirements of products which are innovative. They want everything better. They want better price points and they want personalized service. That's where all of you would have to be taking it very, very seriously and honing your skills how to deal with customers, how to provide them customer delight, going beyond customer satisfaction. Climate change has had a huge environmental impact the world over. India is also signatory to Paris Climate Agreement, and we have a certain commitment to reduce our carbon emissions and to reduce the energy energy consumption in the country over a period of time, which is also part of Sustainable Development Goals of the UN 2030. And India is moving on to that path, and companies have now become very, very conscious about climate impact of their operation. That's a new dimension which has been added to the boardroom discussions in the most of the companies today. Corporate social responsibility is now the front and center and the fundamental purpose of all organizations. India is the only country which has mandated by law Section 135 of the Companies Act 2013, which mandates a company to spend at least 2% of the average profit for the last 3 years on corporate social responsibility activities. But because we take all the resources from the society for carrying on the functioning of the companies have a moral responsibility of giving back to society. But I think before CSR, we should actually be talking about ISR, individual social responsibility. Of course, we have a law by which the companies are required to spend a certain amount of money on corporate social responsibility activities. But individual responsibility of us, each one of us, me, you, all of us, what is that we can do? Individual social responsibility is equally important, if not more important than that of CSR. Brexit. We know that Britain is pulling out of European Union, and they have already passed that resolution in the government, and it's only a matter of time that Britain actually formally pulls out of the European Union. In other words, there is a rising tide of nationalism and deglobalization happening in the market. Remember the financial crisis of 2007-2008, which hit the world as a whole. It emanated from US by way of the mortgage crisis or subprime crisis. But then because the world is so intimately connected, all the countries of the world are intertwined with one another. If a butterfly flutters anywhere in the world, it causes ripples everywhere in the world. And the same thing happened. In 2007-2008, the world as a whole faced huge recession, including that of India. And once economies of the country, they started coming out of that recession by 2012-2013, the entire mindset of the people had changed. All the countries of the world started talking in terms of deglobalization, and they said, no more blind rat race towards globalization. We're not saying we don't want to be connected with the rest of the world. We would definitely, but the blind rat race which was going on towards globalization, that came to a halt after the economies of the country recovered from the aftermath of recession of 2007-2008, and that was the beginning made in the year 2013. And the same concept is working even till now. We all know that US has drastically cut down H-1B visas. That's a work permit visa. They have drastically cut down the number of visas which are being issued by the US because they don't want outsiders to come into US. They want to take care of their own people. There's huge level of unemployment in the US, in the Europe, in other countries. They don't want outsiders to come into their country in big numbers. And that's why they're cutting out on H-1B visas on a progressive basis. This is the kind of backdrop within which the business is running today. All the companies, be they in India, be they in any other part of the world, they are all impacted by these kind of changing paradigms of business. So, 21st century business, you will be getting employed, looking to get employed in corporate world, in companies within a short period of time, next 1 year, next 2 years, and so. You should know what the business in 21st century is going to be like. Companies will focus more on providing customer delight. This is what we discussed. That's going to be the core focus because customer is the start and the end point of a business. If there is no customer, there's no business. You are not there, I'm not there, nobody is there. We are all there in the companies. Company is there only because there is a customer. And if you don't take due care of the customer, you're going to have difficult to be able to survive, sustain in the market. Companies are using and adopting flatter hierarchical structures. As part of the principles of management paper, all of you must have studied. There are different kinds of organization structures. Coulson O'Donnell, Thomas Harris, any book that you would have referred to. It talks about pyramidal structures, vertical structures, horizontal structures, matrix, flat structures. In real life, most of the companies today are adopting flatter structures with very less hierarchy. In a traditional business venture, look at Modi's, look at JK's, look at Goenka's, look at all those old-timer companies which are still existing in the marketplace. You will find that somebody who joins in that company at the lowest level, the difference between that lowest level position and the chairman of the company is about 13, 14 levels. In traditional companies of India, some of them, they are still existing in the marketplace. But the new age companies or modern developed companies, they are looking for flatter organization hierarchy where there are just about 3 or 4 levels. That's it. The lowest level, entry level, and the chairman, there are just 3 people in between. Maximum 4 levels are there. That's the kind of structure that's emanating in the marketplace. Employees have more autonomy and responsibility. 2 words, both of them very important. You have autonomy. You are given freedom. You are given a task and you're left onto your own. You do it whatever way you can do it. You would like to do it. But end of the day, you are responsible for results. Nobody is going to be always checking, supervising your work. Once a task is given, you are going to be on your own. We give you complete freedom. You'll be very happy, fine. Nobody is supervising me. I'm my own master. I can do the work all by myself. Good. But then end of the day, you are going to be responsible for the results. You must deliver on time. You must deliver quality. That's where autonomy and responsibility both go hands in hand together. Work in the corporates in today's world is becoming much more collaborative. You will be working in teams. You will be working in groups. The time of individual brilliance, the time of individual functioning is gone. Nobody would give you work which you'll be doing all by yourself, sitting in a corner, sitting in a nook of the office. No, it's always going to be teamwork. You must be a team player. You must know how to cooperate with others, how to behave with others when you are placed in a group situation, and how to honor, acknowledge, at the same time, at times argue if the group is not moving in the right direction. You must build up your group management skills. Jobs are less routine, less predictable, less stable. You talk to your parents, you talk to other older people in your family, somebody who has been in job with a government or a private organization, he will tell you probably, I joined the company, I retired from there. Or somebody will tell you, I joined that company, I made 2 changes in my entire career of about 40 years. But today, the younger generation, they are looking for a change every 4 years, every 3 years, every 5 years, because they are in a haste. They want to rise onto the top very, very fast. And why not? And there are huge opportunities available. At our time, when we were starting our career in early 80s or late 70s, there were not so much opportunities available. Nobody could risk leaving a job because he might not find another job. But today's situation is different. Jobs are less stable, they are less routine, they are more less routine, and they are less predictable. Your entire job security ultimately depends upon the skills that if you have the skills, you virtually are indispensable. Nobody can pull you out, nobody can chuck you out. You want to have a long tenure in that company, but everything is dependent upon what kind of skills you have within yourself. So some of the skills which are required in 21st century, you need to be a good communicator and you must be able to collaborate with others. Before I start reading out this list and also subsequent presentation, let me share a real life example of what we are talking about in terms of skill requirement. In one of the companies where I was director of finance, we were interviewing a candidate for the position of manager of finance. This is real life. And my HR manager had shortlisted 6 candidates according to the prescribed job routine and job profile that he had prepared for this particular position. All of them qualified people, chartered accountants, cost accountants, MBA finance, 6 candidates for shortlist. One candidate was called into the interview room, brilliant academic record, topper all through, having about 4, 5, 6 years of experience in a good company. And the interview board asked him 10 questions and he was able to answer 9 questions point blank. He was so sharp, he was so knowledgeable, he was so well informed that 9 questions he immediately answered. And it was only in respect of one of the questions that he fumbled a bit. And he said, sorry, sir, I don't really know what is the exact answer, but probably I can make a guess. And he made a guess, and that guess somehow also turned out to be true. 10 out of 10, great performance. And he said, thank you very much. And he went out of the interview room. There was a peon standing at the door of the interview boardroom. I was with my 2 other colleagues. 3 of us were there in the interview boardroom. And then peon checked in, sir, should I send the next candidate? We told him, please wait for 2 minutes. We have to first carry out assessment of this candidate who has gone out. The first outside story. This candidate, when he went out of the interview boardroom and he went to the lobby where other candidates were also waiting, he was smiling all through, very, very happy, solid performance, 10 out of 10 questions, almost very sure of getting into this job because he has done a good work in the interview, very confident, very happy with his performance. He immediately called up his parents, Papa, my interview is over. I've done pretty well, 10 out of 10 questions, fine. What happened inside the interview board? This is real life. All of us were sitting on chairs with wheels at the bottom of the chair, revolving chairs kind of thing. All of us turned towards each other. And then one of them said, one of my co-board members said, wo spark nahi dikha. Wo spark nahi dikha. I don't know. And all of us agreed with him somehow. In spite of his having answered 10 out of 10 questions, somehow we could not select him for that particular position because we felt, wo spark nahi dikha. What is spark? I mean, it's a combination of your personality, your persona, your communication, your attitude, your learnability, and many other factors. Your sitting posture, even that matters. Why not? The way you walk, the way you sit, your facial expression, your hand movements, everything is part of that spark that we were looking for. I'm not saying he would not have got a job. Probably he would have got a better job than in our company elsewhere. We wished him all the very, very best because he is a good candidate. But somehow he could not get a job in my company at that time. That's the critical thing that we talk about. Having a degree was good enough. He had brilliant academic record. That brought him to the level of the interview. If you don't even have good credentials in academics, you may not even get an interview call. That's a different thing. He at least got to face the interview. But after the interview, somehow, we could not take him in our company for whatever reason, right or wrong, whatever reason. So we require 21st century skills to be able to excel and to be able to master the functioning in the corporate world. You got to be creative, out of the box thinking. Out of the box thinking. Companies today are looking for people who are very, very creative and who think out of the box. 6 Hats or games people play or I'm okay, you are okay by Thomas Harris. I think these are good read books for the younger generation people who are going to hit the corporate employment market in a few years from now. They should right now start reading these kind of books. Six Thinking Hats, Games People Play by Eric Byrne, and I Am Okay, You Are Okay by Thomas Harris. I think must reads for all the younger people, because that's what is going to tell you what kind of attitude you must have, what kind of creativity, out of box thinking you must have, which the companies are looking for in abundance in 21st century now. Critical thinking and problem solving. You should not be someone who faces a problem, knocks at the door of your boss time and again. Boss भी कहता है मेरे को क्यों डिस्टर्ब करते हो आप बार बार आके. Boss doesn't like this kind of a person. You have a problem, sort it out. Come back later, tell me, sir, ये problem हो गया था, मैंने इसको इस तरह से ठीक कर लिया. He is the guy who's going to go high up very, very fast. But if there is somebody who knocks on the door of the boss time and again, and he says, sir, this is problem, what do I do? Baba, I did not hire you for troubling me. I hired you so that you are able to take care of your problem yourself by creativity, by out-of-box thinking, by critical thinking, and your problem-solving skills. You must be initiative taker. If you want to rise high up in the organization faster, if you want to become a vice president within the next 8 to 10 years, you can, definitely, you can, why not? But then you have to be a self-starter. You have to be initiative taker. Don't get bogged down by the role profile that's allotted to you, offered to you. No, always keep your ears and eyes open. और कहाँ पे opportunity है जहाँ पे मैं I can get involved with that. Don't say I have enough work with me right now. I'm not able to finish my work in 8 hours. Baba, that's your problem. If you are not able to finish your office work within 8-9 hours, that means you are working very, very hard, but you are not working smarter. You don't have to work hard. You have to work smarter. There's something lacking in your planning, in the way you look at work, you manage your work. You're not working smartly. You got to be smart in managing your work, it must be. In companies in 21st century, you have to be self-sufficient. We, in our times, starting with 80s career, early 80s, late 70s, we enjoyed the benefit of having peons all around us. I mean, 1 peon, 2 peon, depending upon the level at which you are. We all enjoyed that, the freedom, but now, no peon. You are going to be, and you are expected to be self-sufficient. Even for a cup of coffee, there is a coffee vending machine over there. You go, pull it out, have it. Any number of times, no issue. If you want to do a photocopy, machine is there, you go yourself, get it done. Nobody going to help you out. Those times of peons and support staff and everything is gone, because companies have become very, very lean, cost efficient, and that's why you have got to be self-sufficient all the time. One of the key traits that companies today are looking at, ethics and values. Very high on the agenda of the employees when they look for a candidate. You must be very, very ethical, honest, values. Honesty, believe me, is not only of rupiah paisa. Honesty is not only about money matters. That's only one of the dimensions. You got to be honest to yourself. You must be able to deliver what you promise. You must be able to say what you have conviction for. You must be honest to yourself. Honesty is not only about money matters. Of course, that's one of the dimensions. But honesty, ethics, values, they are much more than that. And every company today has a code of conduct. When you join a company, first day, transition into the new position, they will offer you a kit, and that kit will also include a code of conduct. What you're supposed to be doing, what you're not supposed to be doing when you join as an employee. So, kya karenge aap? You will read that very, very carefully. After 2-3 days, your HR manager will ask you, have you read the code of conduct? Yes, sir. Yes, madam. I've carefully gone through that. Fine, good enough. Everything is forgotten. But that's not required. That's not enough. What is required is you must be able to live that code of conduct. Let me give a real life example here again. I was invited by one of the companies wherein I'm an independent director. When they were celebrating their Founders Day, they had organized a small get together with all their employees and all the directors, including independent directors. They held a formal program. And as it normally happens in such kind of occasions, each one of us was given 5 minutes time to say a few words. When my turn came on that particular day, I decided to talk about honesty, ethics, and values. That's the topic which I had chosen for myself to speak for about 5 minutes. I'm not going to share with you what I said in those 5 minutes time, maybe some other time, but not today. But the basic crux was I asked the audience presence there. There were 500 strong crowd sitting in the auditorium, 500 employees of the company. I asked them 4 simple questions. My first question was, do you know that your company has a code of conduct? Everyone raised their hand. Someone raised both of their hands. Yes, sir, because ours is a listed company. It's a mandatory requirement. We have a code of conduct. It's there on the website of the company. I also have a copy with me. Ghar mein padi hai mere paas. It's all put on the notice board everywhere in the company. For sure, we have a code of conduct. Very happy. I said, very good. Second question. Have you read it? Most of them said, yes, sir, certainly we have read it. Because that's a mandatory requirement. HR manager will ask him. I told her that I have read it, even though I had not actually read it. My third question, have you understood it? That's where the hands start dropping down. Quite a few of the hands dropped down when I asked the third question, have you understood it? And then my last question was, do you live by the code of conduct? Believe me, very, very few hands were up there in the audience at that point of time when I asked the question, do you live by the code of conduct? You know that there is a code of conduct, you have read it, you have understood it, but do you actually make it part of your DNA? Do you actually live by the code of conduct day in and day out? That's where I found very, very few hands were up there in the audience at a given point. Now, what I mean by living the code of conduct, I can give you real life example once again. Right now, I'm working as managing director with the Institute of Cost Accountants of India. And we also organize many conferences, seminars, both pan-India as well as internationally. My organization organized a conference in Chennai in pre-COVID situation. This was probably in 2019, towards the middle of 2019, we organized a conference. And in that conference, we had a lady speaker, a very senior executive from a company in NCR in Delhi. We invited her to be a speaker in that conference. And this, right now we are meeting offline, online, virtually, but in a physical conference, the normal protocol that we follow, right in the beginning, when you invite the speakers onto the dais, you offer them with a bouquet of flowers or some kind of planters, some welcome. And then after everyone has spoken, you offer them some kind of a memento. That's the normal protocol that's followed both in India, internationally, a normal protocol. So when the session came to an end and a memento was being offered to all of us sitting on the dais, this was my program because I'm the managing director. This was my company's program. I was the host sort of thing and also speaker. When the memento was given, this lady who was sitting beside me rose very, very graciously, accepted the memento. But as soon as she sat down, she whispered in my ears and said, Dr. Gupta, what is the cost of whatever you are giving to me inside this gift wrapped box? Nobody had asked this question to me. I have addressed, I've shared, I've been on the dais for so many conferences. Nobody had asked this question to me ever before. I was startled. I said, Madam, don't bother about this. This is only a small token of our appreciation of your having come all the way from Delhi and enlightened our audience with your technical knowledge. This is just a small memento. But she said, no. She said, no. She said, she was very serious. She said, no, my company has a gift policy. She said, my company has a gift policy. And as part of that policy, there is the threshold amount mentioned, the limit up to which you can accept a gift. If whatever you are giving to me inside this box is beyond that threshold limit, sorry, I will not be able to accept it. Then and there on the dais, that lady was talking to me. Somehow I was able to pacify her and say, Madam, don't bother. This is a very, very small item inside this, and it's definitely not going to cross your threshold. But here was the lady who was living the code of conduct in real life. That's what I mean by living the code of conduct. Another example, real life, a senior executive from a public sector organization was nominated to attend an international conference in the US. Company nominated him for attending an international conference in the US. 5-7 days conference. He went there, he attended the conference, and when you have outstation conferences, normally you also have some kind of activities, some kind of entertainment, some kind of activities, excursion, takeout. It's all part of the conference. I mean, some technical session, some leisurely activities, some fun activities, things like that. In this particular conference, a lucky draw was taken out by the organizers. This is real life. Somehow, fortunately, unfortunately, what happened? This fellow who was nominated from India got the first prize in the lucky draw, and he was awarded and handed over a laptop. Now, he came back to India. He was very, very clear in his mind. I'm going to tell my HR manager, this is what happened there, and seek their advice whether I can keep this laptop with me or do I need to hand over this laptop to my company, because this was a company nomination on which I had gone. He wrote a mail to the HR manager. HR manager, instead of responding in writing, called him up and said, laughingly, sir, आपने बता दिया, इन्फॉर्म कर दिया, तो अब तो ये तो कंपनी को देना होगा. अगर आप हमको बताते ही नहीं तो हमको कभी भी पता नहीं लगता. You could have safely kept this laptop with you. But look at the living the code of conduct on the part of the employee. He did not want to hide this. He could have simply done this. Nobody could have ever come to know that he has got a laptop from the conference, but he decided to show it up, tell the HR manager. He had to leave the computer. It was given to the company. He could not keep it with himself as part of the company policy. So living the code of conduct in today's world, very, very high premium being paid by the corporates across the world. So you need to have a winning edge. In the highly competitive corporate world today, you need to develop a winning edge. And that requires you to try and keep improving day by day. Kaizen, Japanese word, small improvements, small increments from time to time, but continuous improvement. Don't stop learning new things. Don't stop building up new skills. You don't need to improve 1000% in one area. All you need is improve 1% in different areas, which is of course a lot easier. And that is going to be the winning edge that end of the day, companies are looking for attitude. They want to hire a person with right kind of attitude, with positive attitude, with winning attitude. Attitude is everything which impacts whatever you do. Your attitude makes an incredible difference in your life. It can be a very important tool for positive action. On the other side, negatively, it can be a poison that can cripple you. And it dictates whether you are living your life by design or by default. And very interesting, when you add up the alphabets of the word attitude, the total is 100. I don't know how. It's a magic. Attitude is everything. Everything in your life, what you do, how effective you're going to be as a professional, working in a corporate, everything ultimately depends upon attitude. Each one of you is a winner. Winning is a way of life. It has to be a way of life. Winning is not a sometime thing. Sometime I win, sometime I lose. No. When you win, you win. When you succeed, you succeed. But when you fail, you don't fail. You learn. When you fail, you learn. When you fail, you don't fail. When you fail, you learn. When you succeed, you succeed. That's the kind of attitude that you must have. हौसला मत हार गिरकर ओ मुसाफिर हौसला मत हार गिरकर ओ मुसाफिर ठोकरें इंसान को चलना सिखाती हैं. If someone falls once, gets up. Someone falls twice, gets up. Someone falls thrice, gets up. Great guy. But if someone falls once, doesn't get up, no good. He will have no career. He will have no future. No company will be requiring to hire him, because today's winners are those people who can sell their personality. आजकल marketing का जमाना है. How well you are able to market. Market what? Market the products, market the services, market yourself. That's important. How well you are able to market yourself today. That's going to be the ultimate mantra of your success in the corporate world. And how do you market yourself? That means how do you sell your personalities? And personality is a mix of your beliefs, your value system, your attitude, your intelligence, your idiosyncrasy, many factors put together. What is IQ? Intelligence quotient. What is EQ? Emotional quotient. What is SQ? Spiritual quotient or social quotient. What is PQ? Potential quotient. Your ability to reach at a particular level. You must have ability. You must have the right kind of skills to be able to succeed in the corporate world. How high you will go, whether you will one day become MD, chairman of the company or not, that depends upon many factors, including politics. Sab jagah hoti hai. In spite of your best aptitude, career, capabilities, you may never become a chairman. That's okay. But you must at least have PQ, potential quotient. And the last is MQ, my quotient. No two individuals in this world are alike. They're all different in terms of shakal mein, knowledge mein, intelligence, background. No two individuals are alike. So be on your own. Develop your own attitude. Develop your own personality. Don't try to copy others. You may take cues from others, but don't try to copy others. Don't be a copycat. Be on your own. And if you're able to sell your personality in the outside world, you're going to be hugely successful in the corporate world. Winning formula. Average ability. I don't want that 10 out of 10 guy. Sorry. He may be academically very, very brilliant, but I don't want those kind of guys who have 10 out of 10, but don't have a burning desire, that fire in the belly. Agar wo spark nahi hai, to mujhe 10 out of 10 nahi chahiye. Somehow, I don't know. That's the kind of feeling in the corporate world today. You need somebody with 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10, good enough. Somebody who has scored 60% marks, 70% marks, good enough for me. But in addition to that, he or she must have a burning desire, learnability, fire in the belly, go getter. कोई भी काम होता है करके लाता है, कैसे भी करके लाता है. I need that kind of a guy. Academically, he might be only 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10. Good with me. I don't want 10 out of 10. You must have confidence. You must have conviction to be able to reach on to your goal. You must have self-esteem, and you must have determination for success. You must respect yourself. Huh? Again, a contra statement, Normally people say you must respect others. Baba, wo to karte hi hai. But why should I not respect myself? Respect yourself. Your self-esteem is greater than judgment by others. Don't worry what other people say about you. If you are confident about your abilities, your self-judgment should be greater than that of judgment of others. And best of all, respect yourself. How to turn attitude into real action. Some of the guru mantras for winning attitude, honing employability skills for 21st century business world. Sukhiram versus Dukhiram, it's your choice. Nobody can make you sukhi, nobody can make you dukhi. It's all up to your attitude. Every morning when you get up in the morning, you got to decide whether you want to be Sukhiram or you want to be Dukhiram. It's a matter of attitude, nothing else. Respond, don't react. Develop the ability of responding and not reacting. Because reaction is instantaneous, immediate, without thinking, without looking at the situation, what I need to do. Whereas when I say respond, response is always thought through. You think through what is the situation, what should I do in a particular situation, and therefore don't react anytime. The message is you must develop ability of responding after taking your time to think through the situation. Learn to do what you do, learn to love what you do for a living. I mean, of course, easier said than done. Many of us would have liked to go into a different profession, but somehow we get stuck in a different profession altogether. It's easier said than done. Many a time, the right kind of opportunity may not come before you at the right time so that you can pursue the career of your passion. That's okay. But to the extent possible, you should try to get into a profession which you love, because that's where you're going to really excel. Because that's where your mind will be. That's where your entire commitment will be. And that's how will provide you an opportunity of growing very, very fast in that particular line of work. Get along well with people. Today, we have to work in the companies in a team manner. You must be a good team player. You must know how to behave in a team. You must know how to argue, discuss, communicate with team members. You must also have good amount of understanding of group behavior, including psychology aspect. That's where you got to develop skills for getting along well with people. Don't work hard. You need to work smarter. If somebody says, I'm not able to finish my work in 8 hours, I also carry some files back home for 2 more hours of work after dinner, I don't think he's actually working smarter. He needs to work smarter. Probably you may appoint an executive assistant to support you. Probably you can use technology to leverage your efficiency. You can probably relook at many of your functions, and definitely you can become more smart. When angry, count 10 before you speak. Don't speak immediately. Don't react. You must respond. And when you're very, very angry, take some more time. Count 100 before you speak. Sharpen the saw. The kind of skills that you are developing right now in your college, good enough for initial entry, but the world is changing so very fast now. The knowledge frontiers are changing very, very dynamically in every area. You have to keep on updating yourself. Keep yourself abreast with what is happening latest across the world in your field of activity, and don't only stay based upon your past laurels or past academic record. You must try and sharpen the saw and sharpen your skills from time to time. Cultivate the honesty, cultivate the habit of honesty. I told you earlier, it's not only about money matters. You've got to be honest in your commitments. You got to be honest in your work. You got to be honest for your employer. You got to be honest for your family, household, whatever. You got to cultivate the habit of honesty. Creativity, failure, instant coffee, yes, hota hai. Instant success, no. Instant noodles, yes. But success is not instant. It always takes time. Somebody wants to become a VP in 2 years' time. Difficult, not possible. Be calm, be patient, start working towards that particular journey, show results, be creative. Over the period of time, you will definitely reach onto that level which you have targeted for yourself, but instant success, it doesn't really happen. A two-way or a two-word success story. Work, works. काम काम आता है अभी नहीं तो 2 साल के बाद नहीं तो 4 साल के बाद don't worry. You say, I slogged like anything. I worked very, very hard in this company. Somehow my boss has given me very low increment. I have not been given promotion. You are very, very sorry and you're cribbing like it. But don't bother, don't worry. It's just not a matter of 1 year, 2 years. You're going to have a lifespan or a work span of about 40 years time. आपने जो अभी मेहनत करी है, जो काम किया है, ये कहीं ना कहीं आगे काम आएगा. Be it your academics, be it your corporate work, whatever, आपको लगे रहना है. लगे रहो, लगे रहो, लगे रहो, लगन से. Again, I don't want 10 out of 10. नहीं चाहिए मुझे. Even research has also proved that those people who are occupying top 5 or top 10 positions in the university, somehow they don't do as well in their life later as the people in the next 10 or the next 20 list do. I don't know why. That's the research available on the internet. You can Google out and find out. Top 10 position holders, many of them, majority of them, they don't do as well as people who are ranked 15, ranked 20, ranked 25, because besides academic performance, we need that spark. Now, if somebody has spent all his time in studying, and not been able to focus on developing other skills which are required for the corporate world, I'm sure he's not going to do as well as other people might be able to do in the market. So to sort of summarize, 21st century skills, critical thinking, problem-solving ability. A company in China has come out with a very, very novel idea. They are selling fresh air filled up in canisters. Fresh air they have got from Alps Mountain in Switzerland. Fresh air, look here, innovative idea. Every one of us would say, Baba, who will buy fresh air from the company? It is available to all of us, free of cost, gift of nature. That's okay. But most part of the world today have polluted air. To a lesser degree, to a higher degree, some parts of the world have greater pollution problem. Some parts of the world have lesser pollution problem, but air is polluted across the world. And people are willing to pay a price for getting a canister of fresh air. And that is the idea which the Chinese company has hit upon. They're selling it out like water bottles in the European market and the Western market. Very soon, I'm sure it's also going to hit the Indian market. You must develop reasoning skills, analysis skills, interpretation. How do you synthesize information? You must develop and hone your IT skills. Human skills, very important. How do you deal with other people? Believe me, most important skills that you require in the corporate workspace at any point of time are the human skills. How you deal with others is going to ultimately determine your efficiency, your effectiveness. Suppose you are lucky enough to have a peon working in your office supporting you, and you want to have a glass of water. How will you tell him? Please get me a glass of water. एक गिलास पानी देना. ठीक है, लेके आएगा बेचारा, क्यों नहीं लाएगा? पियोन है बेचारा, आपके लिए काम करता है. Probably a better way of saying that could also be, भैया एक गिलास पानी पिला दोगे? Both of you are human beings. You may be a manager, padha likha. He may not be padha likha. He may just be a peon. But end of the day, you are dealing with a human being. That is what ultimately matters. How you deal with people to you who are at your same level, peer level, who are your boss. How do you deal with people? Human skills, very, very critical in today's corporate world. Learnability. How fast can you learn the tricks of the trade, the company that you join? Well, there's a lot of difference between theory and practice. All the students getting out of colleges, getting straight into the corporates, you have programs like campus to corporate, ये वो सब program करते हैं आप कॉलेज में, मुझे पता है. But उससे आप real world को you can't really manifest. When somebody gets into a real life corporate job, he will have to understand the philosophy of the company. He will have to understand how the work is carried out in this particular company. The company is willing to train you for that. But what is required from your point of view? You must be a fast learner. First of all, you must be willing to learn. And for willing to learn, probably you may also have to unlearn and then learn. Unlearn, learn, and then relearn. Three-stage process. And somebody who is a great learner is going to be preferred over some people who don't show those traits of learnability while getting employed. You must also develop skills for carrying out research, maybe interrogative questioning, creativity, out-of-the-box thinking, artistry. You will have to make various kinds of presentations and you'll have to do various kinds of work in the company. The same work, any kind of presentation, it can be done in very many different ways. If you have the ability of making a presentation in an artistic manner, I can't really define what is artistic. I think all of us understand that. If you are able to show your differentiation, I can do things differently. Same report. If you are required to compile a report, everyone does a compilation of report, but I can compile a report differently. Better font, better template, better pictures, better presentation. If you have that ability, I think that's going to give you a winning edge. Curiosity to learn new things. You must have imagination. You must have innovation, and you must have personal expression. Personal expression is the way you dress, formal. Most of the companies have a dress code. So obviously you'll have to follow that kind of thing. The way you talk, the way you walk, the way you get up, the way you sit, all these things are part of your personal expression. And this is actually the starting point. First time when you meet somebody, it judges you based upon your personal expression. And it might just be a fleeting meeting. This new guy meets you just about for 20 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds. That's all. But the kind of image that it carries of you as a person, your personality, I think that's ultimately going to give you a winning edge in the marketplace. How successful you're going to be in your professional career. Some people say, हाथ की लकीरें बताती हैं कहां तक आप जाएंगे. Destiny is everything. I don't deny that. हाथ की लकीरें important, but destiny is not a matter of chance. It is a matter of choice. You can also make some of your हाथ की लकीरें. It is not something to be waited for, but rather something to be achieved. होता क्या है? Because of our own weakness, we are not able to rise up to the occasion. The weakness of our heart does not allow us to open up. Otherwise, हर बूंद समुंदर बन सकती है, which is the drop that cannot be an ocean. हर बूंद समंदर बन सकती है, but provided that you have the grit, you have the conviction, you have the determination, every drop can be converted into an ocean. The weakness of our heart does not allow us to open up. Otherwise, हर बूंद समंदर बन सकती है, which is the drop that cannot be an ocean. Today is the day and now is the time. Never say never. The mantra and the message is very clear for all the future managers getting into the corporate world. Shape up or shape out. You still have some time, maybe 1 year, maybe 2 years, for honing your employable skills. Only carrying a degree in your hand is not going to help you a long way. You've got to develop some special kind of skills. So shape up. Better you shape up. Otherwise, you'll be left behind in the corporate race. Shape up or shape out. So friends, believe in yourself and say, I'm the winner. And you must have grit and determination. I can do it. I can achieve this. I shall achieve this. I will achieve this. That's what should be the spirit. I can, I shall, I will. All the best. Thank you very much. That's where I close my formal presentation, but I'm open for a few questions if there are any from the audience. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. It was very informative and very interesting.
Thank you. Thank you.
Really lot of learning, lot of learning. So do we have any questions from live online platform, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
So thank you, sir. Thank you, first of all,
you.
from on social media audience. I would like to extend my great thanks.
Thank you.
The event is very higher ratings, and a lot of around 5,000 persons are connected throughout the different social media platforms.
5,000 people are there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it is a very good, sir. The question is that honing employability as an industry partner is several times always in searching, because skills are continuously changing as per the demand of the time. So for a learning person, everyone is not able to hone the skills continuously. So in that situation, what they will do for their existence?
This requires action at two levels. One is if you are still a student or if someone is still in an educational institution, there is a dual responsibility. The institution must take care of providing an opportunity of honing employability skills for the people or the students of that particular college, organization, institution. And then on the other hand, the individual also must be very eager to learn new skills. He must show initiative. He must show determination. Even if it requires hard work, a lot of time to be spent in developing new skills, he must be ready for that. So there has to be action to be taken on both the fronts. Institution must provide the opportunities, and the students must always keep their ears and eyes open and try and develop new skills from time to time. And I think the mentorship scheme, which some of the educational institutions have, that's playing a very important. I personally am mentoring about over 50 students from different universities, colleges, both in India as well as abroad. I'm personally currently handling about 50 students as mentor. I think mentorship is very important, where you can probably give them a real opportunity of connecting with people who have been successful in their career, and you can show them the path as to how they should prepare for developing honeability skills. That can be one good idea to look at mentorship kind of thing.
Sir, on mentorship, I also have a question that like in what topics we should cover in mentorship basically?
No, mentorship is not about topics, I think. I don't know.
Like
different colleges structure mentorship in a different way.
Okay.
In most of the cases where I'm connected, a student is connected with me. Anytime she or he has any kind of an issue, any kind of a problem, she talks to me or he talks to me. And I hold sessions every week on a Sunday for about half an hour, 30 minutes for each mentor. And then I provide them these kind of insights, which I presented in one session today. I pick up one particular element of that and share with the mentee as to these are the things which you must develop in your life. Then that he or she practices those kind of skills for about 1 week, 2 weeks, come back to me, these are the problems I'm facing. That somehow I'm able to build a better person out of that, he or she, whosoever is connected with me as a mentor. So that's how the mentorship actually works. They have to learn from me. I have to learn from them. Because at my age group, we are not so tech savvy as people in the younger generation are. I find it difficult to make a good presentation myself, to be very, very frank, because we've been exposed to computers only in the last period of 15, 20 years, by the time we had already reached kind of 40, 45 plus kind of age. So we accept that. So when you have a mentor-mentee relationship, it is that both the parties learn from each other. I learn a lot of things from the youngsters who are working with me as mentee. I'm able to offer and give my experience sharing with them so that they also learn in the whole process.
Thank you. Thank you for.
So in case your university also has similar kind of scheme or process, maybe I would be too pleased to associate myself as a mentor for some of the students.
Right, sir. Thank you so much. So with that, so it was such an engrossing session and fruitful learning session about honing employability skills as per industry expectation. On behalf of Global Foundation for Skill Development and Entrepreneurship and Nirvana University, I would like to take this opportunity to conclude the session with a vote of thanks. I like to express my deep gratitude to President NUJ, Dr. Ravi Goyal, sir, who have always encouraged and motivated us by his never-ending hard work, passion, foresight, and vision for the education system. All the dignitaries and the most valued invited guest keynote speaker, Dr. S.K. Gupta, sir. It was such an engrossing and in-depth learning session. Once again, thank you, sir, for gracing with your expertise-based knowledge. My sincere thanks to Nirvana management team who made this webinar a resounding success through their cooperation. Last but not least, thanks to all who attended our live session on Facebook. Be tuned with Nirvana University. Now, stay tuned for the next webinar, which is on 24th Feb 2022 with our guest speaker, Dr. Surinder Kaur, for captivating session. So, sir, you can share the slide if you want to.
Certainly, I'll share the presentation. Oh, okay, some of the slide you've seen.
Yeah. सर आप फ्लायर शेयर करें
डॉक्यूमेंट अपलोड करो 21 से 23 के बीच में
Ma'am, because of technical issues, Alok sir is unable to share the screen.
not a problem we will update on our websites so people can know about it right so thank you so much sir once again really it was very captivating session we completely enjoyed
Thank you.
thank you sir
Thank you.